Playmakers, what's going on? This is Coach Wood, and you are officially with Before You Go Pro and our YouTube channel. Thank you for stopping by. You could be anywhere in the world, but you decided to stop by the Before You Go Pro YouTube channel. So if this is your very first time, thank you for joining us. Once again, I'm your host, Coach Wood, and this is the Weekday Huddle. The Weekday Huddle is for football players, parents of football players, guardians, for coaches, and football fans that want to learn more about this beautiful game, this industry, the business side of the industry, and how to navigate this thing properly, okay? So you are in the place to be. If this is your very first time joining us, please consider hitting that subscribe button if you do like the content that you hear today. And please consider sharing and bringing a friend next time. Also, go down in the description box. In the description box, we have curated some football resources for you, some NIL resources for you. This is the time to know what you're doing in the sports industry. So make sure you check out the links in the description box and take full advantage of what we have for you. But let's get into our week of content, you guys. Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. This is where you should be because we got new fresh content coming to you every single day. And it's pertaining to you young football players today. This is something that I wish I would have caught on to a little sooner in my career. I really didn't catch on to it until I was playing professional ball in the Arena Football League. I wish I would have caught on to it a lot sooner. And you athletes today, especially if you got these Division I aspirations, you've got these NFL aspirations, then this is just football code that you want to catch on to. So let's get into it, you guys. Today's topic is when your last game is your worst game. What happens when your last game of the season is your worst game of the season, Coach Wood? Obviously, we never want to be in this position. You want every game to be a great game. You want to have a Hall of Fame career. But let's keep it honest. We all are going to have some duds from time to time. We're all going to have some games where we feel like we left some plays on the field, right? So what happens when you're playing at a high level of football, when you're at a major Division I school, when you're in the NFL, when you're in the Canadian League, and the last game of the season, y'all, is your worst game? You know, this is an individual sport. And as you guys know, this is a very competitive sport. There's always someone waiting by the phone for a Division I spot, for an NFL spot, for a Canadian football, USFL, a contract. There's always someone waiting by the phone. There's always someone that worked out today for your job. So the thing that comes with these competitive industries, you guys, is constant, almost hyperactive evaluation, where almost every turn of your journey, you're being evaluated. You're being evaluated to see if you are reaching your potential, but you're also being evaluated to see if there's anybody else that's better than you. Because you could be reaching your potential, but it's not good enough. So at every turn of this industry, you guys, as you climb the ladder of success in football, you will be evaluated. So, you know, we sit back and we see the NIL dollars. We sit back and we see the Josh Allens and we see the Jettas doing their thing in the NFL. But those guys have been evaluated 1,000 times to get to that point. So there's a mental toughness with these dudes that we don't get to see, but they're used to being told either they're not good enough or they got something to work on. But what happens when the last game is your worst game? At the filming of this, we've got college football playoffs. We've got NFL playoffs. What happens when that game that is so big is your worst game? One of the unspoken codes that a lot of guys know, the veterans know, man, is that, and it just comes with the sport. It just comes with, being on a high level and in such a competitive industry, is that if your last game is your worst game, it is highly, highly probable that you might not be on that team next year. And now what? We're in the day and age of NIL and the college era, you guys, and we all want a couple dollars in our pocket. But in college, these are 1 year contracts now. These are 1 year contracts. So at the end of every season, they're looking at the books. They're looking at who we paid and did that money come back? Was that a good investment for us? And if you have some more eligibility, please believe your last game is going to weigh heavily on if you get the next contract. Because everybody has to be evaluated. There's too much money involved in football at the major college level, you guys, and in the pros for okay to be getting by. It's not okay to just get by. Now, here's where it can really get dicey for an athlete. And once again, you guys are playing a team sport. But as we tell our athletes before you go pro, you guys are all individual contractors. You guys are all individual contractors, baby, and we want to teach you the game so you know the game within the game. There's some players that are playing in these college football games. There's some players in the playoffs. There's some players that are playing in these NFL games. And even though they still have to take on the excitement or the brunt, of that game, and in this case, we're talking about it being their last game, so they lost. The season is over. Even though they all had the same outcome as a team, you guys, as soon as them guys hop in the car, there's different feelings upon how they feel their off season gonna go. Some of those guys are going to be feeling like they're on thin ice. Maybe even expecting a call from their agent or from the GM or from their coach saying, hey, you know what? We loved your effort, but we're going to go in a different direction. Some guys are expecting that call. Unfortunately, some guys are expecting that call, while other guys, same team, just lost last playoff game. The season's over for me too, just like him, but I balled out. And this is college, so every year we get a new contract, and I just balled out in the last game of the year, which happened to be a playoff game. So I'm happy after I get rid of the team defeat. I'm actually feeling very encouraged about my future. Whereas my teammate, who also has to get over the team defeat in that playoff game, he's feeling very nervous about his future. Because this is one of the unspoken codes of football, is that everybody has to be evaluated and every team is looking to get better in the off season. And one of the best places to get better in the off season is with the talent that's on the team, the production that's on the team, also the coaching staff. You see where there's losing seasons and coaches have to get rid of people. They have to get rid of people on their coaching staff. A lot of times it could be a dear friend that's on your coaching staff, and you got to get rid of them. You got to cut the low-hanging fruit because the athletic director is saying either they go or you go. Everybody's evaluated. So where I see this really affecting teams, where teams are really looking to make some type of change, especially from the personnel department. Now, keep in mind, at the pro level, it's going to come through the college race. It's going to come through the draft. You got kids that want to take your job through the draft. In college, you got kids coming through the portal, junior college, prep school, and high school that want your job. So this is where I really see the more massive changes, or changes that are more critical when it comes to football. When you have a team that is terrible, When you have a team that is terrible, there is going to be massive changes. If you played at a college, on a college team this year, and your team was one of the bottom 1, 2, 3 teams in the conference, they're going to be looking to make some changes. Hopefully, your last game wasn't your worst game. Hopefully your last game wasn't your worst game, or you may not be back at that school, or they may not put an offer in front of you that you feel is favorable if you're playing like at a Power 4 school. Now, if you're in the NFL and your team is terrible, they're definitely going to be making some changes. And it may be your head coach. It may be the GM. But they're definitely going to be making some personnel changes through free agency and the draft. So bottom tier teams, don't let your last game be your worst game. Don't let your last game be your worst game. And then the other one is where we're really close, where we were this close to maybe winning it all or to winning that playoff game. Those teams are going to feel like they need to make a personnel change to get over the hump. So I'm a college football playoff team. Maybe I'm a Texas A&M. We're going to really be looking at that last game versus Miami to see what we got to do to get over the hump. I don't know if you guys got to see that game, but a very close game. One of the places where somebody had their worst game and it was their last game was the kicker for Texas A&M. I think he missed 2 or 3 kicks. So I can guarantee you to a certain extent that he is being heavily evaluated this offseason, and he may not have a job anymore because we were this close. So where we really see it, where guys are on thin ice when their last game was their worst game, is when it's a terrible team or where the team was this close, and we feel like this piece hurt us. All right, so keep that in mind, you guys. There was a time that I was playing arena football in Texas for a team called the Austin Wranglers. I got picked up in the middle of the season. They put me on practice squad for a couple weeks. Then I played. But my last game, so I played in about 4 games before the season ended. But the last game, I didn't have a good game. And also our team wasn't that great. We didn't go to the playoffs. So guess what? They're looking to make changes. And I was an easy change to make. I was nervous that all off season because I had just got there, so I didn't have any strong ties. They weren't paying me the most on the team. And then my last game was my worst game. And sure enough, I got the call. I got the call from the defensive coordinator, and he said, "Hey, thank you for the effort, but we're not going to be bringing you into training camp next year." And broke my heart. But I had the feeling, because I knew I was on thin ice, my last game was my worst game. If my last game, I would have had 2 interceptions. I was a defensive back. I would have had 2 interceptions, then I would have been cool. Because they would have wanted me to come back to see a little bit more. But even if they didn't want me to come back, I'd have some game film. I could say that basically that's on them. It's a loss on them. I can go to another team, say my last game I had 2 interceptions. I don't know why they let me go. So keep this in mind. I know the season just ended. Some of you guys, unfortunately, may be on a little bit of thin ice. But next year when the season comes around, obviously you want to play hard, great the whole year round. But it's just an unspoken football thing that if your last game was your worst game and you don't have a lot of clout on that team, they're going to probably show you the door. So, hey, hopefully you guys learned something today. Once again, that's what the huddle is all about. It's for us to hash out some topics. It's for us to be a step above any of the other athletes, right? Any of the other parents, any of the other coaches, fans out there. We want to know the business of football, and we're growing this community organically. So please get down in the description box. Check out those resources. Make sure that you subscribe to our channel. We've got some phenomenal content coming your way in 2026, and we're ready, baby. We're ready to rock. So looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Once again, the Weekday Huddle with Coach Wood. I'll see you at the top.